Don't come in to there and say, oh my God, I have this huge problem, this thing and that thing happened to me, and this happened to me, and this happened to me, and this happened to me. All of that is true, but it's not useful information for them. What's useful information is, here is the credit report that I ran. Here are documents that this person opened a water bill in my name. I've never been to Texas before. Or I've been to Texas, but not for 15 years, and I've never authorized anyone to make a water bill. Pull the information together, because people have a lot of work, and people are tired, and they can dismiss you as being crazy. They can dismiss you as being old. Dismiss you as not being capable of dealing with your things. But that's judgmental and myopic. The truth of the matter is, the more information you have of evidence of what's occurred to you, nobody's going to solve your problems for you, right? So you have to go with the work that you've done, the manner you've done, and present it to them in the most easy fashion. If you don't want to do that, you can always contact this as well. If you go to the police and the police dismiss you, what have you, you can always call this number, and there was someone there to talk to you. You'll report what happened, and you'll discuss it, and they'll evaluate what the next step is. Okay?
At almost every police precinct, you're going to find now someone that has been specifically assigned. Usually a detective was going to specifically assigned to that problem. I just did that probably 3 months ago. Went to the precinct, talked to the detective for one of my clients. It isn't me. And the detective was immediately assigned, took down all the information, came to the house to talk to him. And because this person was rather stupid and kept coming regularly every month to try to bilk this person out of money, we had the detective be there one day when she was there, and the next thing you know, I'm talking to an assistant district attorney in Manhattan to take care of her, and she's now doing 7 years.
And it's super helpful.
So it is possible. I mean, there are things you can really do.
So that's my point is, it is possible. The world is changing. Criminal justice system is changing to deal with it. And so I know everybody wants a solution to the problems. That's what the initial part of the slides is to show you the clever techniques that are out there. And these are the things that are being adapted. So as the criminals are adapting and becoming more clever at getting the information and using it, we are also getting more clever and focused on how to deal with it. So your first step, if you've been compromised, is go to the police. If you don't have a problem, or call this. If you're shy about it, you can always call the number that had just been there. All right. There's a staff. There are a number of public. You can call and receive assistance. And there's a staff, and there's a whole unit at our office, of which I'm a member of, the Cybercrime Identity Theft Unit. It's become such a prevalent thing that we have focused and shifted resources to deal with what's going on today. And this, of course, was created by Mr. Vance in 2010. And its mission is to target these criminals, increase awareness in the victims, and this is what I'm talking about, the resources that have been shifted. So now we're doing this in... all right. So now you've been compromised. Remember, now we're going backwards to the slides. So, all right. Don't be worried about telling your family or friends. All right. Place a fraud alert on one of your accounts with your credit bureaus. You do your credit report. You place an alert. Eliminate damage to your credit history, and then.
What does that do exactly? I mean, what's the consequence of having a fraud alert?
Well, it just puts everyone on notice. It's going to put all of the people that are connected to you. It's just going to say, hey, everyone, slow down, freeze. My account's been compromised. Don't open any more credit cards. Don't do this. Don't do that. It'll be automated, and these are things that are useful.
But remember, which doesn't mean that all the credit and the cards and whatever you're using are also going to be frozen. That's another misconception.
Right. That's true.
It's just preventing new stuff from happening.
Right. It's just like timeout. Timeout. All right? All this stuff is happening. It's called timeout. Let's make sure everyone knows. And it's a way to just notify everyone immediately. By the way, if you have to leave, there are pieces of information if you want that, some pamphlets, etc., in the front of the room. Okay, you can contact your credit bureaus in writing. There's a verification affidavit of fraud, police reports. These are all things that will be useful to you. There's a lot of paperwork that goes on, but you want to do it. And you can do special things like request a 7-year fraud alert, a 5-year removal from pre-approved offer lists. There are things you can do once you go to these areas, once you go to the credit reports, once you file the things, follow the steps. If you have problems or difficulties, call them. Don't take calls from people. Call them. Reach out to them at their numbers listed on their website.
So it doesn't mean to be on a pre-approved offer list. What does it mean? But
Well, there are, I think if you make a certain amount of money, there's a lot of people who just get credit cards in the mail and just say, fill out this form and then you're pre-approved because you fall into some category that the credit cards companies deem that you're a good risk for credit. So you can ask particularly to have yourself removed from that so that you won't be on any of those pre-approved lists and you won't get mailings. And the thing is, you say, well, I would know if I got a mailing, not if somebody's intercepting your mail. Not if somebody has gone on and changed your home address to somewhere else without your knowledge for certain accounts. So,
with all those credit cards, they share your information.
That's something, what do you mean share your information? Because you're on some lists. Everyone's on these lists where they call you because they know that you, they're monitoring your shopping habits. It's not, forget what the bad guys are doing. The credit card companies, they know, they're all looking to maximize their profits. So they know what you do, why you do it. That's what's, the credit cards that are good at being, that's how they know that you didn't buy some crazy computer at some place for $1,000 because it's totally inconsistent with your credit history. So they see what you buy, see what you use, and see what you're doing. So remember those credit reports that I was telling you about? All of them are here. The credit agencies, they have commercials on the television all the time. Any of them are fine. I don't know particularly which ones are better, so I can't vouch for any of them. Again, here it's assess and limit the damage. Call the police. Police report closing accounts that have been opened or compromised. Contact each of the major credit bureaus to place a fraud alert. We've talked about all of that. What do you do? This was a picture of all of you before I told you those last few slides. One thing, the more knowledgeable you are, the more risks you can reduce. Update your virus protection, but honestly that stuff is not going to really fully help you anyway, frankly. That's the truth. It will minimize things, but they're becoming incredibly computer savvy so that they can trick them and not be able to be read. Be careful where you go on the internet, I guess is really the truth. Do not respond to email requests from strangers. There's no Nigerian prince. Honestly, there's no Nigerian prince. To this day, we still get cases where people send money to Nigeria. There isn't one.
Or Jamaica.
Or Jamaica or wherever. It's not happening, okay? I don't know how many times they do not,
I'd say 2-3 times a week I get phone calls asking fundraising for political things, for people in trouble, for patients, or whatever catastrophe happens. Phone calls, emails. I constantly get them, like dozens a day. What do we do about this? Do we know?
There are that stuff I don't really know. That's not kind of the scope of
is there
this.
any of that could compromise you?
Yes, any of it could be just somebody pretending to be those people. I don't know. It's a personal thing. Do you donate money to many charities because you probably got on some list with somebody that is someone worth the call? I don't know. You can always say, I would never give any people any information over the phone or the internet. If there's something that particularly interests you, you can say,
Mail it.
can I, mail it to me, or can I come down to your, I'd love to see your operation.
I tell them I never do anything by
Yeah,
phone.
and
Well, that's right.
that's a good policy item.
But then email, I mean, what the heck is the
I
difference?
mean, email, I wouldn't be responding to emails that I don't recognize. You know, it's not a bad idea to, some people set up additional email accounts.
Yeah, I
You
do.
know, ones that they use for, that they just, it's very easy to go to any kind of provider, open another email account, one that you want, and then just be very exclusive on what you do with it and who you provide it to. So
You've
that
got
you
Yahoo
know-
and Google also.
Right. I mean, there's lots of them. It's a trick most bad guys use. They use multiple email accounts because they want to keep their presence limited. But it's not a bad thing for you to just use your email account for the business stuff that you really do, and then the other accounts. Yeah.
A little off target,
Okay.
but I know, and I guess they're still running that scam where you get the phone call and then you say, call me back at this area code. If you call them back, it's like $25 a minute or $100 a
You
minute.
know, I haven't seen that, but I wouldn't never call anybody back.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is allegedly they exist, and my
Okay.
question is if they do, and I'm a resident of New York and that happens to, what are you guys doing or what happened to?
I don't know if that's happening. You're telling me it's happening. I've never heard of it, so I'm not saying that it's not happening. All I'm saying is,
I don't know if it's happening. I remember that, yeah, the call back, and by calling it, they're automatically charge your phone bill, but I think that's, I haven't heard of it happening a lot.
I haven't heard that, but if it happens to you, call the police or call the
Phone company.
I'm sorry. Yes. I'm
What is
sorry.
disk writing software?
The last thing, disk wiping software. That's if you download a lot of stuff from the internet. There are ways that you can.
In other words, you wipe it out before?
Yeah, it's like you try, every time computers communicate with each other, there's a way that they interface, and they look at each other and they grab information from it. And so the Trojan horses or all these viruses, they put it onto your computer and it gets embedded somewhere that you can't find it. So there's some software that kind of goes over it, looks for the bad things.
Is that part of your spyware? Is that part of your?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not quite sure. I didn't make this slide, so I'm not quite sure what that actually
You
is.
don't know. Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've gotten very nervous because I get these messages from Yahoo on my email, or shouldn't even say blank bank, and they will say you need to update your whatever, and I don't answer any of those anymore. And then I go around worrying because I'm saying that maybe I should have, because maybe. And I mean, is there a response that you would recommend when these things come in that you could say, send it to me in writing, or?
I would say this: you've been on this earth for a long time, right? And you've made good decisions and you've made bad decisions. Trust your instincts. Like, don't respond to stuff that you don't understand and don't know. You know, I wouldn't just. What's going to happen if you didn't update whatever thing that they're talking about? Nothing. Like, because trust me, the credit card companies are desperate to take your money in any capacity. So they're not going to shut you down, and you're not going to be able to use your credit card. They're going to make it as easy as possible for you to purchase whatever it is that you want. So I don't know. Email-wise, I would not respond to anything that I'm not 100% comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with it, pick up the phone and call. Go to the website. Don't call the number in the email. Go close the email. Go to your website that's on, for whatever it is, and call them and say, "Hey, I got this." And sometimes they're going to say, "Oh, that's not authorized. Thank you for telling me. Can you send it to me?" Because they want to know what's going on there. They want to know the scam so that they can better protect their customers. So I wouldn't worry about not updating your stuff. If there's something you find fishy, it's probably fishy. I mean, it's the internet was designed by
Al Gore, please you don't know that.
Well, I mean, but it was designed in a fashion for gentlemen to behave. There were no rules. It's not a game that's played by gentlemen. So I don't think that you should be afraid to not update your stuff on it. I wouldn't do it at all. There's no reason. There's almost going to be there's never going to be a reason where you should be giving that information out. Only if, under certain circumstances, like it's okay to go to websites of legitimate companies. Like you can go to CNN, you can go to these like things, but I wouldn't go to things that you don't recognize that aren't vetted because they're likely to have poor security and poor ways to go once the compromises occur. So, you want to protect your homes, you want to secure your information, you want to protect your passwords, and we talked about that. Reduce the risk of becoming a victim. Never give your social security number out. Never.
In addition, for all those of you who are senior citizens, don't carry your Medicare card with you. Make a copy and scratch everything out except the last 4 digits.
And this is great. This is what I'm talking about. Ask questions, especially when people call, because we all have good BS detectors, right? We've been around. We live in New York. We know when someone is trying to sell us the Brooklyn Bridge. So just be yourself. Don't be shy. Ask questions. Wait, why do you need this? Where did you get my number? What is it that you want me to do? Can I call you back at another number? Can we do this? Can you send? Why don't you send it to me via mail? Oh, are you still at the address? Yeah, I'm still at my same address. Oh, is that this address? Or what address are you at? Don't give them the address. Don't give them the stuff. They're crafty. But if you ask a lot of questions, you're going to find out eventually the person you're talking to is a scammer. Email fan, don't be lured in or pressured into giving information. Just don't be doing that. Shred your documents. It's very simple. Shred your bank statements. This is to avoid dumpster diving.
Even if you live in an apartment building with a compactor?
Yeah, I would. Or just rip it up. You don't have to get a shred.
I have a shred.
Just rip it up. I mean, honestly, probably not. This is really for other people because it's people aren't like incinerator dumping.
Free packing material this way too.
You don't really hear much of incinerator dumping.
I mean, I sure a compactor.
Yeah, compact. The people don't jump into compactors for reasons. But
Okay.
how to reduce the risk of becoming a victim, protect your information, immediately report the loss, and order your credit report to the least now, these are more scams, and if you're not really interested in them, that's fine.
I am.
I am.
All right, so this is where we were. Right, now that you guys can relax. All right, so this is something to think about. This is something that's happened, and there's a bunch of cases. You'll never believe how crafty these people are becoming. They'll go into legitimate bank investigators. They'll go in. I mean, banks have video, so you see them put it in, but they don't look at it till later because they don't realize it's been compromised. So you see, that's the original thing, and this is what they actually put it right over, so it looks exactly like it's the same. So that this is here, this is it at the end. It's been compromised. This is a fake card reader, so that even though your credit card goes into the machine, it goes through the card reader that then takes your information. Even better, but that's not enough because they need your password, right? They don't need your password. Inside this thing looks rather innocuous, but no, wait, the video camera. There it is. So while you're typing in your password, they can connect the card to your password.
Nice work.
So,
And it still works? You still get your money out?
you still get your money. You go home,
It's all recorded.
but they have recorded so they can come back and make a fake card. From the magnetic strip and go in and take as much money as they want.
Just a aside to this, ceases license.
You know what's funny? There's a company. There's many companies that make it because card readers themselves are legitimate.
Yeah.
You can use it for legitimate. Small businesses need them to be able to get paid by claims. So what happens is they can become manipulated in a fashion by certain software and stuff. Okay. Anyway, our time is, so, it's a great, so there it is, okay.
One more question, sir.
Yeah.
Did he broadcast it or they come in and fetch the card?
No, usually it can be done where it's sent digitally to some reader.
So they don't have to come back, they just leave it there, they walk
They
away.
give it away and walk away.
So the guy walks in with a hood and puts it.
Sure, I mean, yeah. Anyway.
What's a pigeon drop scam?
Okay, wait. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
we're going to have to close up shop in a minute because other financial strangers approach you on the street with found money. I guess that's what a pigeon, I didn't even know what that is. A pigeon. I wouldn't worry about that too much. If people approach you on the street, that's the thing. These things are, it's on the street, you're really going to be aware. You're used to people approaching you on the street. If you're not, then you'll just like get away from them. All right. So, wiring money for charities, that's what they request, your information, you just don't give it to them. Remember, use your common sense, right? Counterfeit cards, we talked about that. The magnetic strips can just put your any information, so your credit card information will be put on there. Stolen credit is illegally without issue notification. They can instant credit scams we talked about when they use your stuff. Home health attendants sometimes have access to your stuff, so just monitor your bills. That's one thing. Try to keep it. We have a fantastic elder abuse unit in our office that really focuses to senior citizens who maybe are uncomfortable going to the precincts. Those are numbers that exist. All right. That really is it. I'm going to come back to the center because that's the key. Up here is a brochure in front with that has all the information that you need that I've kind of just came through. And yes.
One quick question.
Sure.
That will be the same number to report also the cybercrime and the cell phone. How
Yeah,
can I
the cell
bring
phone
this?
thing. Yeah.
How,
Yeah.
how can I bring this to?
Cybercrime would be the same.
Yes, give
Call
them my
this
phone
number,
number.
and someone will talk to you and walk you through.
Is that number the DA's
Yeah.
cybercrime unit?
Yeah, this is it's the identity theft hotline number. Yeah, and that'll be the person. There'll be someone manning that line, I think, every day, and that person's on call. So that person is there devoted to your requests. So if you call them and say, "I have this problem," they will either direct you to the best places to go. They'll begin the inquiry if it's a criminal investigation. Sometimes things that happen are annoying, time-consuming, but are not a crime. And if they're not a crime, they'll direct you to places to go to be handled. And if it's a crime, then obviously our mission is to ensure that the residents of Greer County.
How would you distinguish if it's a crime or not?
Well, that'll be based on a million factors that you would have to have answers to. But you need, I cannot emphasize this enough. Don't call and say, "I have a huge problem," blah blah blah, go on and on and on, because you'll get dismissed as a crazy person. Because crazy people call as well. So you want to distinguish yourself from being considered that. You want to have as much evidence and information that's clear and able to be distinguished so that you can get
But
the
on the
proper
phone,
help.
how can I do it? Like when I receive those messages, like this
Should I
one,
say I
that
ran my
I
credit report?
Just-
They're going to direct you to do some of those things. Just
on the
say-
credit report is fine, but how about the